serve as the conductor of the Wind Ensemble, and I'm also so grateful to Professor Melissa Gill of the Art Department for her tremendous amount of effort and all the time and work she put into making this collaboration possible. What we've done here is we've actually built this project into our fall semester curricula, both this fall semester and actually last fall when we first started this project. So what we've done in this collaboration is this. The Wind Ensemble has prepared a program of music that is all programmatic in some way, which means it's meant to evoke a particular image or a story or emotion. And while we've been working on how to achieve those goals musically, the printmaking students have been working on interpreting the music and putting the sound, putting the story into a visual image. So tonight, and along the way, actually the Wind Ensemble and printmaking students have had opportunities to have discussions with each other so they can help each other in the development of not only their artistic process, but then of course in the development of these images that you're about to see that were created by our printmaking students. So tonight we share with you the results of this collaborative effort, and to make it even more special, the printmaking students themselves are here. They are going to talk about their prints. You're going to see their prints up on the screen so that you'll be able to put together not only what they have to say about their prints, but then how their prints go along with the music that you hear as we play it. So they are going to be the ones primarily responsible for telling you all about the music that you're going to hear tonight. So with that, I'd like to welcome our first two printmakers to talk about the first piece. So please help me welcome Sandy and Riley.
All right, so you can't really see mine personal, but that's okay. So amazingly, as a printmaker, obviously we deal with images and constructing them, but when I heard this piece, yeah, we're doing Allegre by Tanya Leon, a Cuban composer. So when I first listened to this, I didn't as much hear images. I actually heard, well, I didn't hear emotions, essentially, but it made me feel a certain way. So what I wanted to do with this piece is I wanted to create texture with different materials. When we put them on the board, we got sandpaper in the middle, different sorts of, so that's tape, you know, learning this, and really I just wanted to create different textures to reflect the way that the song made me feel. It's really upbeat, as you guys will get to hear. There are different, you know, lots of different instruments, obviously, as you can see, but it really just made me feel a certain way, and I wanted to reflect that with different materials. I chose orange as a mixture of red and yellow, trying to pay homage to the artist's Cuban heritage, and you know, I know there's obviously a fleur-de-lis in the middle of it, and really, when I hear this song, I think of a party, and I want to reflect the Mardi Gras sense that I got from it, so that's why that's in the middle, but that's, this is my piece.
So this is mine. Basically, just as Sandy said, whenever I listen to this piece, you kind of hear, like, it's almost like a party. It's a very, like, loud, and there's a lot going on. And so whenever you kind of listen to it, the colors that came to mind were like very bright, vivid colors that make it pop, and you're just like, wow, that's crazy. And so the colors for that is what I chose. And colorgraph, basically what you do is that you take materials that you wouldn't technically use in art. Like for some of these, I used string, and I used like rope, and I used like stickers and glue, and things that you genuinely wouldn't like think would be on there, and that's what we did. And so the colors are like red and they're yellow, and then I decided to do like stars for the bright pieces of sound that like just pop out at you. So thank you.
next piece. The next piece is called Elegy for a Young American, and it's by Ronald Lucresti. And it was actually written after the assassination of JFK. But I kind of tapped into more of the anonymity of it rather than the subject, while it is still related. It was left open kind of for anyone who needed it because it's about the grieving process and how it goes through the 5 stages of grief. It could have easily been called Elegy for JFK or something similar, but it was left open. And I kind of wanted to represent that in my print. So it's kind of shown as the, like it's a crowd with like a censor bar across it. And that's, I kind of wanted to show not only the anonymity in it, but like the togetherness that's formed by the two, you know, things. But yeah, I think you'll find the piece to be enjoyable.
Alex Shapiro's piece, Tight Squeeze. And this piece of music first reminded me of like up-tempo music that you'd find playing in a club in Havana. And when collaborating with the wind ensemble students, they told me that it's a 12-tone piece, so like the title suggests, there's a lot squeezed in there. But they also told me that even though the music is really chaotic, there's a sense of symmetry in there. So I tried to create symmetry with more or less symmetrical spotlights on these club dancers, but also a sense of chaos with the use of like a lot of materials to create texture. So the materials include confetti, felt material, plants, Elmer's glue, string, and a lot more. And Shapiro herself said that this piece was intended to be fun for fidgety teenagers with attention spans of diabetic gnats. So there's that. So enjoy.
Hi, I'm Jessica, and the piece that I did was Hello Sunshine, and it's very happy when you listen to it, and it has kind of a magical type feeling to it. So I made a print and I called it Daydream, and I used the child as touching the sun to try to capture the magical type feeling for it, and I did a rainbow roll for the background since the song is called Hello Sunshine. So I tried to make kind of a sunrise type feel in the background with the colors, and then the song with the happy part of it. I tried to do that, I guess, with the colors too, and make them really bright. And I hope you like the song.
So this next piece is actually the only one in our program where we don't have a print. So before we play this piece and then we'll go on to our last one, I just want to say a few thank yous. This whole concert has been a huge collaborative effort among so many different people. First and foremost, of course, the printmaking students who have done, I think, a tremendous job not only of translating the sound into images, but also been working and discussing with the wind ensemble folks and discussing with Professor Gill just how they're going to do that. And I think you can tell, I hope you can tell, they put a lot of thought and effort into this. So a huge thank you to them, and also most especially to their teacher, Professor Melissa Gill, for all of her guidance. So why don't we thank all the printmaking folks, the students, and Professor Gill for their efforts. Personnel for the Hendrix Wind Ensemble, you may have noticed some interesting things in there, such as the fact that we have a number of Hendrix faculty members who are in the ensemble this evening, and not just music faculty. We actually have some faculty from the biology department and also from the philosophy department. So I'm so thankful to them, not only for joining us, but for setting such a great model for our students. One of our big things here at Hendrix is this idea of unto the whole person, creating the whole well-rounded person. And these folks absolutely exemplify that as they're juggling their regular classes and all of their teaching, but then they're coming here and spending their afternoons with us in rehearsal. So I'm really thankful to them. I'm thankful also to another group of folks. You'll notice that we have a number of musicians who join us from UCA, and they are actually participating in the ensemble and receiving credit for this ensemble. And this has grown out of a collaboration between the band programs at both schools, where sometimes there are students at UCA who need a band home for the semester. The Hendrix Wind Ensemble opens its doors, so to speak, and we welcome them to join us for the entire semester. In addition, you're going to notice when we get to our last piece, we've got a number of additional guest musicians who are joining us for a really incredible work, the Reed Russian Christmas music, which you'll hear more about from our printmakers in a little bit. And that group of musicians includes some students from UCA, also some members of the Natural State Brass Band, which is an ensemble in Little Rock that I am so fortunate to conduct. And also on string bass, we happen to have a student from Conway High School. So with all of these folks, you also saw Sam Melmore on the very first piece on piano, and then all of the tremendously talented Hendrix students who are sitting in front of you. You should know that the vast majority of the Hendrix folks, they're not actually majoring in music, but in many other very cool things. But they still enjoy playing their instruments, and were brought together by this experience, this opportunity to play together, to make music together, and then to do even bigger and cooler things beyond that, collaborating with our printmaking folks and all the folks who helped make this possible. I would be remiss if I didn't also thank all of the folks on the AV team, both from the visual projection state of things, the lighting, the sound, for the Shapiro that you heard a little bit ago. This would not be possible without the help of a tremendous number of folks dedicating their time and effort to making this all possible. So to everyone who played a part in making this concert happen, I want to thank you all and offer my applause as thanks. So thank you, everyone. I hope you will join us after the concert for a reception in the Trishman Gallery, where you will actually get to see the actual prints, not just the digital images, but the actual prints themselves. You can really see the color and the texture of them. They are hanging over in the Trishman Gallery, so I hope you will come eat some cookies and then look at the prints and maybe even talk to the artists who may be over there with us. So, turning now to our next piece. We unfortunately, as I said, do not have a print for postcard from Sequoia by Nicole Puno, but I'll give you a summary of her program note for the piece to set it up for you. So Nicole, she's actually a friend of mine from Michigan State University. She gets to travel a lot as a composer. She is doing very well as a composer and gets to travel all over the place. And as she travels, she writes postcards to her niece. Her niece who is a young gal, and she does this because it's not only fun for her niece to get mail, but she also wants to show her that all of the places that music can take her, and to help inspire her dreaming and her imagination. So with this particular piece, Nicole decided to write a musical postcard, and in it she is describing her experience hiking in Sequoia National Park. So I hope you will put yourself in the mind of some kind of natural beauty that you may have seen or experienced yourself, and see if you can connect that with the music that Nicole has written for this. So we hope you enjoy Postcard from Sequoia.
Thank
Hi, I'm Teresa, and my print focuses on the first part of the music, or the Christmas music. And this part of the song is very slow and dramatic. And when I talked to my group of people on the song, our first thought of the song was dark colors and painting shapes that fit the flow of people, the dark room with the maroon color, and the big circle comes from. And I added the mustard yellow color because I wanted to give my piece a little contrast. And I also liked how the two colors went together. And the materials I used for this piece include sandpaper, mesh, and a lot of glue.
Hi, my name is Nina. I have the second part of the Russian Christmas music. This part, the second part, included kind of like a medley of like a more dramatic piece of the music and also a more like subtle, soft composition of music. And so I used a rainbow roll, which is kind of like the ombre color of like orange to yellow to represent kind of the more like subtle part of the music, and then the dark like images or outlines of candles to represent a more like gothic dark side of the music that my group felt that it represented.
Hi, my name is Ryan Wisely, and I designed the third part of the Russian Christmas music. And so the first thing that came to mind while listening to this section of the music was to translate my thoughts figuratively and literally. So figuratively speaking, I was first thinking of snow falling, something that had more of a more melancholic undertone. And I captured the snowflake that's in the center of the image with made of the bottom of a shower mat, if you're familiar with like the squishy substance. And literally speaking, I kind of did more of a history research into Russian tradition, kind of what the culture focuses around. And so off to the right, I incorporated a babushka doll. And if you're not familiar with that, it's kind of the series of dolls that kind of go from like small to large, and they're all encased within one another. And when I was talking about this idea with my group, we all decided that it would be best to incorporate red and yellow because that's the main traditional colors used with the doll. And it's kind of hard to see, but on the left side, there's kind of like a plus, which is more of a cross shape with ribbons in the background, and the yellow used as an emphasis, and incorporating some of like green with foam pad to highlight like Christmas undertones. So yeah.
Hi. So for my print, I wanted to focus more on the reason why the song was composed. So it was composed to hopefully like bridge like Russia and America's relations in the 40s. So I wanted to focus on like the theme of unity, and especially around Christmas time. And so for like the colors, I chose like red, white, and blue. That's like our colors, it's also Russia's colors. And then you get like a nice blend of purple in between the squares, which is unity. And then we have all the people in the middle, and I use like a variety of materials, mainly hot glue, but also I used some leaves I found outside, some like flower stickers, and for the background, for the stripes, I used like this bridged ribbon. And yeah, so that's one. Hope you enjoy it.